What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hapticast, episode number 45. My name is Josh Toll, and I am joined by my good friend, as always, Brett Roberts, and our AI companion, HBot. Hello, Brett. Hello, HBot.
Welcome to Hapticast.
Hello, Josh.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good.
I'm doing good as well, because today we kind of have a special episode for everybody. We've talked about them a lot on our podcast. We've shouted them out a lot. They've supported our channel, vice versa. We interact with them on Twitter all the time. And they're just all around great, nerdy gamer people. You like that? Mm-hmm.
Like that.
So without further ado, HBot, I want you to do me a favor and go ahead and beam in our good friends from Save Before Quitting podcast, Ant and Christian. Bring them in. Here they come.
Bring in the dancing lobsters.
Bring in the dancing lobsters. Ant and Christian, what's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here. I feel like this is like long overdue.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a while now, so it's
Right.
good to finally be
Right.
here
Yeah.
retroactively.
Like what you guys have done with the place.
Thank you. Thank you. It was
Thanks.
a lot of work.
we
a
both
lot of
got
work.
one of those things, you see, on your shelving in the background. I got one too.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. Yes.
Good collectibles, yeah.
But yeah, so for those of you that don't know, we've been talking about Save Before Quitting for quite a while now. I mean, pretty much since we kind of came back again from hiatus. I think that's right around when they started up or shortly before that. We've known Christian for a while. This is actually Brett and I's first meeting of Ant in some official capacity, not just interacting over Twitter or via third party.
That's right.
But yeah, so they're from Save Before Quitting podcast. They have a YouTube channel, a podcast. They'll plug all of their stuff later. But it's exciting to have them on. And basically what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna talk with them a little bit, and then we have some normal topics for you all. And then they have our indie intel for this week. As you all know, we normally end with that. So they're gonna run us through that. But before we hop into it with them, let's go ahead and just talk about our topics real quick, our quick topic rundown. First, we're going to be interviewing Save Before Quitting, talking about their channel and them as human beings and video game connoisseurs and experts as they are. We're talking about Apex Legends hackers being exposed for a very stupid, wild scheme that makes literally zero sense to me. The rumored Marvel XCOM game, which won't include existing characters. We'll talk about that. Makes no sense as well. And then again, rounding it out as we always do with Indie Intel, which is going to be brought to you this week, sponsored by Save Before Quitting podcast. So before we hop into our main topics, let us do what we always do, Brett, Christian, and Ant, and that's talk about the games and the media of which we are currently consuming. So why don't we let our guests go ahead first, Brett?
Let's do it.
Ant or Christian, whichever one of you guys want to go first. What are you playing? What are you watching? What are you consuming?
First, Ant. This normally goes faster on our podcast for you sometimes. So
Oh, for me, yeah, because I ain't playing as much as you.
you're a busy boy, you know.
Death's Door, Devolver's Death's Door. I've been playing that game. That's probably the most I've played anything in the last, I don't know, couple of months.
Really?
But I've been
Wow.
addicted to it. It's pretty much just like classic Zelda gameplay, except you're a little crow and you're a reaper and you're trying to save like souls and everything. But it's so much fun. It's funny. It's there's depth to it. Like on the surface, looking at it, you wouldn't think there's all these things involved, but there is. It's one of those games where it's like, all right, just this next area. Let me just do this next one and I'll stop. Let me just do this.
Mhm.
It keeps you going. Dungeon crawling, new weapons, the same like kind of Zelda-esque loop. And I don't know, that's what I've been pretty much addicted to primarily right now.
What
Nice.
platforms is it on?
I think it's just on Xbox and PC.
Okay.
I have
Cool.
it on Steam right now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What about you,
That's
Christian?
awesome.
Similarly, I have also been playing Death's Door. I have not gotten as far as Ant most likely, which is a first. I've only played for like an hour or so on our Twitch, and then after that, I've kind of been MIA with it. I've been playing Enlisted a little bit more. I played that with Josh once.
Yeah.
It's a weirdly fun war simulator type game, just like kind of Battlefield-esque. Very pay to win if you want to. Like you just spend a shit ton of money on your different operators or weapons and whatnot. But I don't do that. because I'm broke, as you can see. But other than that, just Apex Legends with the boys. You've been away for a little bit of a little trip ski, so haven't been able to play the new season with you boys yet. But been playing that for a little bit. New characters are really, really fun.
And broken.
Broken to a degree. I don't necessarily agree per se, but it's fine. We can argue that at a later.
I think he's in a good spot, but I think that all the other legends need to get, or the bad legends need to get buffed because he's too good.
He's too good in comparison with other recon characters like Crypto, who's just garbage.
Not viable in literally any sense of the word.
Exactly. If you fix him, I think everyone's balanced where they need to be in the game entirely. The new gun is extremely overpowered, though. I will admit that.
Yeah, it is.
That's the light LMG, right?
It's a heavy LMG. Heavy light machine gun that you can also put a thermite charge into to make you shoot faster.
Yeah. It was supposed to be light, and I think they changed it at the last minute. So
it does 50 damage per body shot.
Oh, that's not good.
100 on head, and it shoots really fucking straight, so it's really good.
Yeah.
Up close, it's not great because it's slower shots, but you toss a thermite in there and GG's. Your enemies are literally melted. But that's been fun. And then as far as media consumption, I just watched Jungle Cruise on a slick location.
Yes.
One might say.
Yeah.
And also watched Suicide Squad yesterday with Bertucci's down there.
That's right.
Had a lot of fun in Suicide Squad. Was really surprised by how good it was in like the whole DC stuff, but it was very, very good.
I agree.
I got a Suicide Squad. I started it and then I fell asleep. I was watching it super late. And I was like,
how did you fall asleep during it?
All right. I had just eaten like this huge meal, and then I was in bed watching it, turned it on, and I passed out.
Wow.
My own fault.
Understandable. Did you like what you saw so far?
I was mad when I woke up. I was like, oh, shit. I missed everything.
Gotcha. All right. Was that all you got then, Christian?
That's pretty much all I got for this week.
All right. Then I'll take it over from here. So yeah, I'll continue on with Suicide Squad. It was actually fucking awesome. I liked it a lot. It was really good. And I actually, before I went and saw it with you, Christian, I watched the original Suicide Squad.
Oh gosh.
It was my first time seeing it.
Oh,
I did see.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's not as bad as everyone made it seem, because I think when you hear so much like bad stuff about a movie or a game or whatever, you're like, damn, like this is gonna suck really bad, and then your expectations are kind of set really low. It wasn't as bad as I thought because of that, but dude, Jared Leto's Joker, garbage, absolute, yeah, just so bad.
Sounds like he's trying to cough up a hairball.
Yeah, he sucks, man. And honestly, every time he was on screen, I was like, can we just get back to what we were doing? Like, can we just continue the movie? He was just trash. So I'm happy to report that he's not in the new film at all. And the new film is 10 times, 100 times better than that. Yeah, besides that, I don't really think I've been watching or playing much. This was a really busy week for me work-wise. So playing some Apex and Pokemon Unite, which was our topic on last week's episode of the pod. Josh, you've been on vacation. Christian,
true.
I don't think you've been playing it that much.
I'm off and on. Like, I'll hop on maybe like an hour at night just to like get the daily challenges done, but not to the point where I'm like, grinding it, because it's kind of broken right now.
Well, they just released a patch on Wednesday. So I was going to say, I've been climbing the leaderboards because all of my friends on the Switch aren't playing it. So I'm like number 2 right now. Christian, your brother is still number 1. And his main, which was Gengar, got nerfed. And not only did he get nerfed, he got broken.
Yep.
Ooh.
There was a night we were playing with one of our friends on Switch, and we were in Discord together, and he couldn't use one of his moves.
Yep. It's broken.
And he went on like a 5-minute long, just rage-filled like mantra. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. I get it. Yeah, you're mad. Just play a different character because there's 20. He's like, no, I'm done. Turns off his Switch and then just leaves the Discord call. And just me and our friend just in the chat like, oh, he's done. It was that bad, I
Wow.
guess.
That
So
shattered his whole reality right there.
legitimately, yes.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a damn shame. But all right, well that's it for me. So Josh, I mean, this isn't really a media consumption, but you got to talk about it. You went to Disney and you went
I
to
did.
Galaxy's
I
Edge.
was consuming real life content.
So
That's right.
yeah, right there.
Yeah, so I have been getting caught up on the Bad Batch, actually while I was in Disney. Mainly because of Disney, I was like just consuming so much Disney media, which includes Star Wars. So I got caught up on that. But yeah, I was in Disney World for the last week. Went to every park that was there. The highlight for me as a huge Star Wars fan is obviously Galaxy's Edge. Not gonna lie, a lot of it like took my breath away and made me choke up a little bit, which I've like don't normally get like that at all. But seeing like the Falcon for the first time and riding Rise of the Resistance, it just doesn't get better than that, man. And it's like it's just so cool. It really is. And seeing pictures and seeing stuff online or even hearing me talk about it really does not do it justice until you're there. And the Imagineers at Disney are freaking, I want to have whatever they're having because it's next level what they have accomplished there. But yeah, I don't know what else you want me to talk about other than it's slick. Disney World is very expensive, but it is so much fun. I had a great freaking time there. And if you are a Star Wars fan or anything Disney fan, you got to go at some point, whether you're a kid or an adult. There's plenty of stuff for everyone to do, which is like the whole founding mantra, right, of Disney World is like adults and kids can have fun at the same time. So there's so much attention to detail with things and small hidden stuff that you don't know about, that they like. I don't know. I just go. That's all I can tell you. If you have the opportunity to go and you can afford it and have the time, go. So
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
that's it. Well, why don't?
Chokehold, man.
What's that?
Mouse has got you in a chokehold, I see.
I totally forgot I was wearing this hat. Yeah. I got this when I was there.
And you're also wearing a Midsummer shirt, right?
I am wearing a Midsummer shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, just a movie about a cult. So it just
Well,
perfect.
so Disney's the cult I want to be in. All right. Well, without further ado, let's hop into our main topics for the week, shall we? And our first main topic has to do with our special guest for today, and that is Save Before Quitting. So Brett and I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys about your channel, about your lives, about content and stuff like that. I have a bunch of pre-prepared questions, but don't feel the need to necessarily stick to them. You can go off on tangent, doesn't matter. But why don't we just yeah.
Tangents.
Why don't we just start with just talking a little bit about who you guys are, like as humans and gamers, and then transition maybe into like your channel and how Save Before Quitting started and maybe where you two guys met, stuff like that. So, please.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm Chris. I'm a recent graduate, technically, animator and now gamer, obviously. Pretty much just love Star Wars as well. You know, love any
Couldn't
sort
tell.
of games. Couldn't tell. Yeah, it's not like I rotated my camera perfectly for that. But
Back there.
listen, it's a time. But no, you know, I love a lot of games, mainly into first-person shooters right now, just because that's what the market really is as of this point. It's either it's a first-person shooter or it's an indie game as of this point, it feels like. Lot into first-person shooters, and yeah, just love making fun videos that with my butt, you know, and that's who I am. That's all I do, pretty much, kind of.
Yeah. No, I got you. I know who you are. No, but I'm Ant. By process of elimination, if he's Chris, I guess that's who I am. Let me see. How do I want to start?
Write your biography real quick.
Right, real quick. As far as gaming goes, I've been doing that forever. So I think I got an NES when I was 3. So ever since then, and I'd say I'm like the Nintendo guy of the podcast, pretty much. So if Mario or Zelda dropped anything, I'm dropping everything. I'm not going to work that day, and I'm just gonna play that. I'm gonna 100% whatever it is. I like mostly platformers, indies, character adventure games, RPGs. That's probably my wheelhouse right there.
Mhm.
Anytime I try to play a first person shooter with Chris, I'm just there to have fun and talk to Chris because I'm not helping anyone with anything. But I enjoy it though. Uh, I was an audio engineer, got my certification in that. I used to record a whole lot of people's like albums and songs and mixtapes and stuff like that. And then I got into podcasting, and right now I have 3 going on 4 of those going.
Wow.
So my week, well, I can't play video games because I'm always in front of a computer mixing a show or fixing some kind of vocal or something. But that's pretty much it, man. I'm an audio nerd and a video game nerd.
That's
That's
awesome. Do you want to plug your podcast here?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, sure. Aux Chord, it's a hip hop and music podcast, comes on every Monday. We're Aux Chord Cast on Twitter and Instagram, and our email is auxchordcast@gmail.com. Listen, if you like hip hop or just the music business in general, and want to hear perspectives from an engineer like myself, my brother is on there. He's a producer, and my cousin Jasmine, who is she was a blogger for a while for anything music. So we just thought it would be cool to have those 3 different perspectives come together to talk about the industry.
Hell yeah.
I have another one of a couple of my friends called the Glorious Bastards, where it's just a conversation about the goings ons in the world, and we just make fun of everything. It's a comedy podcast for the most part. That one's a pretty much off the rails, but that's pretty much what it is. It's supposed to be like that. So if you want to just hear some off kilter left field guys drinking and talking a bunch of shit, that's that podcast. And of course, Save Before Quitting.
Nice.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So speaking of, so how did you guys like meet and then I guess start Say Before Quitting?
You want to field that one?
Sure. So ironically, we worked at the same spot for a while. Oh, I think it was like 3-4 years ago, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So the department I got put in, I actually was trained by our former co-host Nico, and I guess he met you because you were wearing a video game shirt or something.
I was working. He walked past me. He had on, I think it was like a Mega Man shirt or something. And I just said, "Yo, nice shirt." And from that day forward, we just talked about video games. And anytime there was an E3 or a Nintendo Direct, I would go to his area and we would just watch it while working somehow. I don't know how he pulled that off.
Nice.
But yeah, I met Ant through that, like, walking around picking parts and shit, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is Ant. He likes video game shit too." And I'm like, "Oh, hi." And that was like pretty much all it was for a while.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah. After that, we kind of didn't talk for a while, but then you guys wanted a new logo for Aux Chord.
Yeah.
That's how we started getting back into conversations and such. And I did the logo with Nico for that, and now that's their new logo for the moment. And yeah, and then ever since then we were like, hey, this would be a cool thing to do, so we did it.
Yeah, that's really all it came down to. Me and Nico talked about it for a while, and I think Chris, we were at Nico's place, so Chris was doing our logo, and it was like we just should put Chris on it too, and just like it was like a no-brainer. And then yeah, but we knew how much all 3 of us loved video games, so it was like it wasn't even a question.
Right.
So then we started thinking of names, and we just spitballing a whole bunch of names, and Chris said Save Before Quitting one day, and we were like, all right, well, the search is over. That was the best. I can't think of a better name than that.
Yeah. I remember you frantically searching your phone like there's no podcast called this. There's none.
Let's go now, strike.
Yes. Grab the email quick as hell, and then the rest is pretty much history. Gone through some obvious changes. Obviously we're down to the 2 now, but yeah, still rocking and rolling. Almost a year now. Coming up on that.
Coming up on it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's a cool parallel too. I think between our two channels that Brett Haptic Intel specifically has always in the past usually been three people, right? And then we had, and we don't need to talk about it, but like a huge falling out with our original founder, right? And then we went down to two, and then we had Steven on for a very long time. He was really originally just kind of like a guest, and then he was on for a long time. And then when we took a hiatus, he didn't want to come back once we came back and stuff like that. So now it's just two cooks in the kitchen instead of three, but it's kind of
Hey,
cool.
it's working though.
Yeah.
So you guys on a roll, man. I get excited when y'all drop content.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
That Days Gone video. That's literally
Right,
the only
right.
reason I picked up that game. Only reason.
That's good to hear. That was a fun video and not something we typically do. Mainly because it's a lot of fucking work.
Well, yeah, I was watching
Obviously.
it and I was like, a lot went into this, but I appreciated it for that.
Yeah.
I was definitely tuned in.
Hell yeah, man.
So I guess going off of that, then like Haptic Intel, right? Like we always say, like we're just two guys like hanging, like we'd be doing this anyway, even if there wasn't a camera in front of us. What's like your kind of guys' opinion on that and like the content that you create? And maybe that plays into like your nerdy gamer people, kind of what you call your audience and stuff like that.
I mean, we're always joking every single time we get together. Like,
Mhm.
we're like setting up for the podcast, and we're literally podcasting and just being ourselves and being. We say we have to stop being friends until the mics are on because we're
Right.
wasting content. It's always a joke because we're just two dudes doing some guy stuff. We're just talking.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the NGP, the nerdy gamer people shit was just like, I remember it was one of our listeners, Kev, one of Ant's friends. He like dropped it in one of our emails like that we had for like viewer questions one day. He's like, yeah, we're all just nerdy gamer people, and I was like, that's dope. We're gonna steal that.
Simple as that.
Yeah, but just a bunch of people that all get together to just nerd out about either gamer shit or like 80% of our podcast as of this point, it feels like it's not gaming. Like we're just like shooting the shit, and then we're like, oh yeah, now it's time for the gaming stuff. And
Right.
then like if you listen to our last two episodes, there you can 100% agree that because
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like the first half is all just talking a bunch of shit, but it I kind of like that though because it kind of keeps us grounded and we become more relatable to our audience.
Yeah.
I like my philosophy with podcasts are like I said this on one of my more recent episodes is I like to lead with who we are as people and not just the information because you can get the information from anywhere. You can go on Twitter, you can go on IGN, wherever, and get your list of what happened this week in gaming.
Right.
We're just trying to create a environment where you're coming here to just kick it with us.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about that stuff, but I'd rather you want to hear our perspective on it more than what the information is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
comedy in there and all that stuff too. We have fun, but we want to be just as entertaining as we are informative.
right. Yeah. I think like in the space that we're all in, that's a hard thing to find too, because I mean, if you watched our content, especially me, even more so than Brett, we're like super opinionated with stuff, right? And that's just kind of what our content's morphed into. And it's sometimes and maybe you guys can relate, it's sometimes maybe disheartening or annoying, especially when you're a smaller channel and like you put content out and then all you do is just get like shit on by people who think that they're like the most knowledgeable. Like if you scroll through any of our comments, our Twitter, like everything, and it's like,
do your research.
Just like leave us alone, dude.
Yeah,
like
we're
we're not
comments, man.
we're not
on the internet. Everybody thinks they know everything.
We're not here to like. We're not a news channel. Like we're not like like we're not here to. We're not IGN. Like that's just not who we are. So if you don't want to listen to our opinions, that's fine. Then don't leave. But yeah,
I think it's but I think opinions are important. Like you're coming here they're coming to you for your perspective. Like if they didn't want your perspective, like you said, why are they there in the first place?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is the YouTube algorithm is just kind of suggesting them our video, and they don't necessarily they think that we're just giving them the news and they're kind of getting the news from us. They're not used to our channel, so they don't know who we are and they don't know that that's like what we do.
True.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always a terrifying thing to think about. It's like, this is a person's first video to watch, and what do we say in this video to make that impression? But I mean, I've seen some of the comments y'all get, and it's always funny to me because it's like, I'll go in there and I'll troll a bit on them, like sometimes, because like I'll
So do
comment
we.
on almost every video, and I'm like, yeah, dope shit or whatever. But then I see the one nematode that's just, like, actually, and I'm like, bro, they're right, first of all. And like, you're just talking, and I
Right.
don't know. It's
Yeah.
a interesting time in y'all's comment section. I'll say that, so at the
For
least.
sure.
What is
Definitely.
what's what's your guys' favorite part about making content, you think? Your content.
The fact that, well, I mean, we genuinely enjoy doing it. That's number one, because kind of how Chris said, like, even before the mics are on, we would have already, and you guys too, like, even before the mics come on, we would have already been talking about this anyway to each other.
Right.
So it just comes naturally. And then when you already have a rapport with each other, you can bust jokes or clown each other, but at the same time, it's not being taken personal. We can make fun of each other, but also make fun of ourselves, and also just super nerd out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's become like, we've said it to me and Chris have said it to each other, where like we'll have a rough week and we're like, I'm just looking forward to recording,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
that's like the let your hair down point of the week. Like, all right, I can just be in my element, talk about what I want to talk about, laugh, drink, whatever, and just have fun, like talking about things you're passionate about.
100%. It's like a
Absolutely.
weekly reset too. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
nice little reset button where it's like, everything feels like a loop if you got a 9 to 5 straight up. Like, we, no lie, every one of us has a 9 to 5,
Right.
and we're just stuck in that loop of doing that. But like, when you have something where it's like a consistent thing that's also fresh every single week, and it feels
Mhm.
like the first time every single time, and it's fun, it just makes it addicting almost. Like, you just want to do it, and you want to get back to that, to the point where you want that to be the 9 to 5. Obviously, not going to happen for a while because we're still tiny boys, but we're just having fun,
Right.
and
I
when
think
it's not
Yeah.
fun, maybe we stop, but you never know.
I think the best things come out of that part of the process, though, like you said, being a smaller channel, you know what I mean? Because you get to experiment more, and part of the process that I've enjoyed is, even when there are hiccups or technical difficulties, it just gives us another opportunity to improve the show that much more. Like, all right, this didn't work, or this is malfunctioning. Let's switch this up. Let's update this. Let's get a better camera. Let's get a
Right.
better lens for it. Let's sit here this time. But as we do that, it just adds more and more and more to like your arsenal. It gives you more stories to tell on the show. It helps you
Right.
relate to the people watching it more, because like, oh, I have issues too. And then people hear you talk, and it's all a learning process while having fun
Yeah.
and while ever evolving the show.
Yeah, I think Brett and I really can understand that, and something that I think, especially recently, we were just like, nothing, no matter what you do, even if it's like you think it's completely lost, like it's not actually lost. I mean, I think for us, the perfect example was Brett losing an entire audio file for one of like our big unclaimed baggage videos, which we dropped a lot of money on, like did all of that, and like we had to just figure out a way to make it work. And if we were a big channel, there's no way we would have been like, all right, just screw it, let's just record it again, we'll get other stuff, like it's gone. But
And
no,
we've had to do that. We
Yeah.
had to do that, like whole podcast, like we recorded and then we've had to redo it.
yeah,
But in this case, Josh was able to salvage the unclaimed baggage episode into something different but funny at the same time. So
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes you. What's that?
I said I gotta watch that one. It came up on my YouTube earlier, and I was like, I gotta go back and watch this stuff, catch up.
Yeah, it's just Brett's audio was just gone, so we were like, all right, we got to figure out a way to get creative and make it work, because we dropped money on it, and not releasing it is not an option for us. So
yeah.
So
But even like watching your guys' evolution from when you first started to now, like obviously you're down a guy, but your quality has continued to improve. And there's some parallels to what we went through as well. Like if you watch, so first of all, we deleted all of our former podcast episodes from when our first host was with us. So technically we did like Hapticast episodes 1 to 20 or something, and then those were all scrapped. We started over at 1 again. But if you watch like the one that's up now, Hapticast episode 1, we call it like the dark episode because it's literally like the darkest room ever with no lights.
It's so terrible.
It's awful. And every video after that, you'll see like something change, right? Like the lighting gets better, the camera gets better, our set gets better, and then when we came back this time, we did it virtually because of the pandemic, and then we built a virtual set. So,
yeah,
and you guys just did a recent upgrade too. Now you're sitting at that table. You guys are, the whole camera setup looks awesome. So,
and then Chris made that intro,
the new intro, yeah,
and the intro.
That was inspirational. That made me really want to make it the best it can be. I think we coming off of Nico leaving the show, and then E3 happened. And that was a big thing because when he left, we're like, okay, now we gotta like re-strategize. Like, how do we make it just us two? And which was nothing. We just it just came naturally, like it always has. But we're going into E3. We wanted to do a big coverage thing for that. Now it's two, but we figured it out. And after E3 happened, that was kind of a turning point for me. I was like, okay, that was like, I don't want to call it a milestone, but that was a big deal in a way where I feel like we have to continue better than we've been up to this point. I think this is the point to evolve the show. And that's what kind of put us where we are, where we the mindset of wanting to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of how you guys said, we've gone through issues like that too, where we recorded the playthrough of the Turtles arcade game, and the version that's on YouTube is maybe the fourth time we played all the way through it because something went wrong every single time. So we had to, like, every time we play, we're like, and let's go. Like, even though we've done it a million times at that point.
Fresh for acting, put those acting skills to the test.
Yeah,
this is the first time I'm seeing this. Wow.
Yeah,
and that's hard too because, like, for example, the podcast we did that we messed it up and we had to re-record it. It was the same topics. It was the same. Everything was the same. So you have to remember the good banter moments that you have, like Josh and I, and like kind of repeat that and act a little bit too, like you said. So.
Toe Jam and Earl. We were talking about that for a second, and then like we look over to the Mac, and it's just like run out of disk space, and then we're like, "Fuck!" And then he's like, "Okay, so the last thing you said is this. Go." And then like he shows me his phone again for like what they look like, and
it was a whole thing. The Resident Evil Village demo, we had to do that 3 times.
Oh man,
I had to record it on my PC from home.
Right, and we had to react through Zoom, even though we did it in person twice.
And you guys didn't have audio either, so it was only me with the audio, which is the worst thing because I don't like these games. So on top of it, y'all were just there on the screen, and I'm like hearing like spooky shit. And not a time.
You call that series Bitch Made, right?
Yep, Bitch Made. I forget who made that title, but like I was like, how the fuck do we call this Bitch Made on YouTube? And then I just used the exclamation point because, like, fuck it.
Right.
I forgot where it came from, too.
I have no idea where it came from, but, like, they just kept calling me a bitch because I don't like scary games. I don't understand the appeal of, like, jump scares. Like, I like horror, where it's like, this is scary because it's scary. Not, like, boo, loud noise, and dramatic music. Like, I hate that shit. And then, like, the fake out ones where it's just, like, loud music, but there's really nothing there. It's like a rat ran. I hate that shit. It's cheap and it's lazy.
I really, really wish after hearing you just say that we were able to keep that first playthrough because it was the best take.
It was the original one, right? So he didn't know what was coming. Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
Freaking out.
I'm sure there'll be another horror game that
yeah, we got to finish Resident Evil 8 first because like we're having some struggles through that, man. We both just got like insane motion sickness from it. And like the last video we uploaded, and like I keep saying it's what it looks like. It looks like we both just got like mollywopped by a ghost at the same time in the video, and like we both just go like, "Oh fuck!"
Wow.
And
I don't know. That was the first time I've heard of people getting motion sickness from games, but I've never experienced it until this game. I don't know what it is about. It didn't happen when we played the original. Was the original demo on PS4? Or did we play it on PS5? I don't even remember at this point.
I think we played it on PS4 because where we played it, it didn't have a PS4 yet.
That's
Or
right.
a PS5 rather.
That's right.
But yeah.
Maybe it's this the jump in fidelity. I don't know. But I knew originally it didn't happen. And then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, this is too good.
Yeah.
Too great.
It's all the motion effects they added. They added like head bob and like blur when you turn your head. So yeah, like it's ridiculous. I agree with you.
Yeah. I guess maybe just to round out this segment then, if somebody was going to like your guys' channel, right, to check out your content, what is like the first thing you would recommend for them, or what's like your favorite show, or it could be your podcast too, for somebody that like really wants to get to know you guys and come into your ecosystem, if you will?
I would say at least one of the podcasts, like one of the ones that are titled some sort of like off the rails, because we have like 3 as of this point. That's where you're gonna get like the main personality from us. As far as gameplay, like the Resident Evil videos aren't amazing right now. We're still trying to work out the kinks with that. Do you have any suggestions there?
What number are we up to in episodes? You know what the last one is? Off the top of your head. All right, our
43 maybe?
Maybe. The most recent episode titled Sugar Mouth.
Oh yeah.
That one, if you really want to get a good balance as to who we are, because even in the end, we talk about our email questions was the top 5 games that made you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you'll get to hear some of our like made us gamers.
And
plus there's a whole bunch of comedy in it. Plus we cover it has like a good balance of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of seriousness too from the Activision Blizzard stuff as well. Just like you know, you get the best of both worlds, as Hannah Montana once said.
Nice.
Classic.
Ant didn't understand that reference in the last.
I was like, no, I was done with Nickelodeon at Hannah Montana. I didn't.
It was Disney. It was Disney.
Oh, it was I really don't know.
This is just a Disney podcast now. This is the Disney Haptic Intel podcast.
I didn't mean to offend the Disney hat.
Sponsored by the mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Not anymore. We brought up Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for answering those questions, and I'm glad you guys are here. So let's move on to our first news topic. I want to talk about Apex Legends, and I know you said like first person shooters aren't really your thing, but I think that there's a little bit of something here that you could still give some input on. And Christian, I know you're like a huge fan of Apex. We play all the time, so I figured this would be a good topic for us to talk about today.
Yeah.
So the headline is, this is a Kotaku article, which, sorry, I'm using Kotaku, but
Kotaku.
Yeah, they're the ones that are covering this, so we're going to go with them. The headline is Apex Legends hackers exposed for plotting wild scheme, which is very generic.
That can mean anything.
Exactly. So I know Christian specifically, and Josh, you'll remember that last month, hackers took down Titanfall 2 servers as a protest to the hacking that was going on in Titanfall 1, right? And then eventually, the hackers took aim at Apex Legends, which is Respawn's most recent game that is, blowing up in popularity right now, especially considering Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone is like dying from the same thing, hackers, right?
Yeah.
When you were going on Apex during this hack, you might remember it said savetitanfall.com all over the place. You guys recall that?
I do. I thought it was like a Titanfall like 3 Easter egg. I was like, oh shit, we're getting a new game, but nope.
No, it was just hackers.
All 3. I would love it.
Yeah. So at the time, you think, oh, this is just like a bunch of like really passionate Titanfall fans that are pissed off that they can't play their favorite game, right? And now they're going to hack every game that's even close to it to bring awareness to it. It's not true. Here's what really happened. In reality, the hackers were high-ranking SaveTitanfall.com community members.
What does that mean? What does high-ranking mean? Do they have a hierarchy over there? They have freaking ranks?
It was like a community board, like a posting board.
Oh, gotcha.
He was a mob.
Yeah. They were plotting behind the scenes in secret Discord groups. And they were not only behind the Apex outage, but the very Titanfall hacks that they were protesting.
Wow. Criminal
So,
mastermind.
so it was an inside job.
It
Not
was
to like bring it back to Star Wars, but this sounds very much like the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right,
Seriously.
Yeah, of course. Star Wars.
So Kotaku is claiming that the real aim of the hacks last month were actually to save a canceled free-to-play version of the Respawn shooter Titanfall called Titanfall Online. And it's like a Chinese free-to-play Titanfall game, basically. It was like a Titanfall 3 that was canceled. And they were using Apex Legends to run a false flag hack to harm the Titanfall scene to help them get the attention of Respawn so they could get hired to Respawn and get the source code for Titanfall Online and bring it back.
So much dedication.
So much dedication.
It's a lot.
So that's all of the news I got. What do you guys think for that? Like,
What is that old show? I feel like it was on Spike TV or something like that, where it's like dumbest criminals alive or something like that. Like stupidest.
yeah.
Like the fuck? What kind of galaxy brain like tinfoil hat plot is that?
I specifically left out the names of the hacker because I don't want to cause any attention to him or
Yeah.
our channel and get us in trouble. But the guy allegedly applied for the community manager position at Respawn. Like legitimately, like there's a actual record of him applying. So this is legit.
Okay.
Man.
Um.
Yeah,
It's just strange. It's weird.
I hate to make this. Have you seen the thing that's going on in the D&D community right now? That's like this exact same thing.
No.
There's this channel called Critical Role where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Matt Mercer and all them, and apparently there was a fan, like this girl, that made a character in her own D&D campaign.
I heard about this. I know what you're talking about.
She's claiming that Critical Role stole her character and all of the attributes and everything about the character to make money because they make money, and is suing them. And she will take away the lawsuit if they allow her to come on the show.
wow.
It's the same exact thing.
It's like a crazy fan.
Like, what the...
I feel,
Like, it's the weirdest form of blackmail ever.
yeah, the dedication is amazing to me because you're so dedicated to do all these things for such a. Your goal is so mediocre sounding. Like it's
Yeah.
not.
yeah.
I want to do all of this to become on your show.
They're willing to destroy the very thing they love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to be your community manager, guys. Just mod me, Pokemon. Come on.
You're doing a lot of work for that.
It's
And
like
you think it'll work.
why wouldn't these people just take their energy that they're dedicating towards a goal that from a normal human brain is like totally unattainable and ridiculous and nobody is going to take you seriously, and just dedicate it towards, I don't know, something better.
Yeah, anything better.
Literally anything else.
You could even have the same goal and work just as hard toward it in a different way.
True.
Exactly. You really, if that's what you want to be the community manager at Respawn, then I don't know, go like get an education and other jobs that would help you work towards that instead of trying to do a hostile takeover to convince somebody to give you the position. Like,
Well, that's the thing. I don't even know if they actually really wanted the position. I think that they just wanted the position so they could access the files to bring back Titanfall Online.
but if they were
I don't-
already like hacking and stuff at that point, if they really wanted to bring it back, couldn't they just figure out a way to get the source code anyway? Or better yet, go make something similar and develop it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody has access to Unreal Engine, so like.
I've also never heard of Titanfall Online until this story, so
That just makes me sad and wish that we actually had that.
Me
Maybe we
too.
should join up with these people.
yeah, right.
I'm just trying to envision a world where they get hired by Respawn, and then I want to know what they're. I want like a camera on them in the building. Like, all right, now I got to find the files. Like, what are you doing in the building to get access to it?
Yeah, why would a community manager have access to those kind of files? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, completely separate.
Janitor.
Like they're not on
Yeah,
the
right.
they're not on like a dev team. Like you're like doing social network work basically.
You're signing the contract for the job, and like, all right, and to all our employees, here's the files.
Yeah.
Everybody has them.
Here's your USB drive with our whole entire
Yeah.
company.
They just hand you the golden USB with all of the files on it. Here's the source code, community manager that doesn't need
Here you go.
it. That's pretty sad, honestly.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Imagine that interview. You so say that you got that far. You go in for the interview. What do you say in the interview? So tell us why you're interested in this position. Oh, well, I'd like your source files, please.
I want the files now.
Oh, I like your honesty. Let me write that.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for you guys for that one. It's just an interesting story. They kind of played themselves, and this is like a story from like yesterday, so I'm sure we're going to see more come from this.
Mhm.
I just, I couldn't believe it.
It's really hard to believe. It's like, again, man, what's your goal? What's your end game there?
Yeah, and Save Titanfall.
Brain.
Yeah, right. SaveTitanfall.com, they initially said, like, we're not, involved in this in any way, and it turns out it's like their top members of the site.
Their highest ranking SaveTitanfall.com members.
Yeah.
With like, a million of those patches on their vests from all of the different things that they've tried to hostily take over.
All their upvotes.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah. They get one stripe for every Reddit upvote they have.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to another story. This one actually just broke 30 or 40 minutes ago. So this is fresh news. A rumored Marvel XCOM game will not be including existing Marvel characters. This one comes to us from Game Rant. So I don't know if you guys heard
got
about
some
this.
really interesting ones for us here today, Brett.
I know.
I was gonna say these are very interesting stories. I like these.
So you guys might have heard right before E3, a bunch of 2K projects leaked online. One of them was a Marvel strategy game from Firaxis. I'm not really sure how to pronounce their studio name.
Is this the same report that had it that there's going to be like 3 or 4 unannounced reiterations of previous titles or something like that? That same report? Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to be talking specifically about the Marvel property here. It was explicitly described as a Marvel XCOM game, but it's going to be its own property, apparently. So today, according to insider Jeff Grubb, he spoke about the game on the most recent Giant Bomb live stream. The project will not only be unrelated to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so the MCU, but it also will not star existing Marvel characters. It will be set within the wider Marvel universe, and rather than let players form their own teams of classic superheroes, the game will instead have players customize their own team of original superheroes to play as, similar to how players create and customize their squad members in the XCOM games. What are your thoughts on that before I move on to the next little bit of information here?
I feel like they would at least have to well, first of all, people are going to go into this wanting to play as their favorite superhero if it's especially if it's an XCOM game. I'd be more inclined to play as a original character if I was in like, I don't know, like the Avengers game that came out and then the other characters are around you or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
In this, I don't know. I just hope that the Marvel characters that everybody looks forward to are somehow in there somewhere. Because it's going to be a hard sell to me personally.
Yeah, how are you going to try to have a game with a Marvel brand on it and not include popular Marvel character? Who wants that game?
Why get the Marvel property if you're not going to include any Marvel characters?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who makes this game? Capcom?
No, it's a 2K project.
So maybe in 2K's boardroom they were like, okay, we're going to spend millions of dollars to license Marvel for our new XCOM game, Marvel XCOM game. But the twist is there's no Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Do you think that it's possible that they were kind of trying to distance themselves from Marvel's Avengers game? because it didn't do that well.
Yeah, but like the Marvel, like the Avengers game, the Square Enix one is like such a small little like shit stain on a very much larger, more polished, popular franchise that it like doesn't even matter anymore. Like I know, like we're like hardcore gamers. Like I'm sure we didn't love the Avengers game. I don't want to speak for Ant and Christian, but I know Christian.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I hated it. I think it's not good. But like. I feel like a lot of like normie tier people or like just normal regular casual gamers probably don't even know about it or care enough about it. So why would it matter to them unless you're like really into video games, you know?
Right. And I
Yeah.
think they need to cast a wide, like if you're gonna make this kind of how you said the norm, the casual gamer, the person who only sees video games on like I don't know how people consume it now, like just IGN's front page or commercials
Yeah.
and stuff now. Like
Instagram.
right, then they're gonna look for you would need to cast the net so that it's for everyone. So you need the main heavy hitters. You need like
Yeah.
Wolverine, Spider-Man, like you need all of them.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work.
They make it seem like you're going to be playing as like Shield or something. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be playing with Shield soldiers, and you create. There was actually talks that you're like creating your own character too, and like customizing your own troops or whatever. So I don't know if that's like DC Universe Online style where you create your own like superhero. I have no idea.
That'd be kind of neat if like you were in the world where the superheroes were and like you interact with them
Right,
as
right.
yourself.
That's what I'm saying. They got to be there
Mhm.
somewhere.
But like,
Yeah.
that's a weird flex.
But if it's saying that it's not going to have any like original Marvel characters in it, then that just seems like unappealing to me.
I feel like they could have taken like one of the like a Marvel team up, like a group of Marvel characters, and focused on that instead of making it like a generic Marvel as a whole type of thing.
Right.
For example, like Guardians already has a game coming out, but what if it was like a Guardians XCOM game where it was those characters?
Right.
That'd
But
be better.
and then
Yeah.
you could create your own character to be on the team. That would be kind of cool. But
Exactly.
yeah.
X-Men.
X-Men, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let me get to this last bit of information here because now that we talked about that, I'm really excited to share this part with you guys. So,
boy.
unlike the more sci-fi oriented XCOM games, this game will have more of a focus on the supernatural side of the Marvel universe with mystical enemies and apparently even vampires. But Jeff Grubb says that he doesn't know if that means like characters like Blade, the vampire hunter, will even make an
Ooh.
appearance.
Or
Oh.
Morbius, who's also going to be played with
Morbius.
Jared Leto.
Give me a Blade game.
Down for a Blade game.
That'd be dope.
That'd be awesome.
Give me another Blade movie. Hell yes, dude.
So what this tells me is that Jeff got to see a little bit of this game. He's an insider, so someone shared something with him, and all he saw were no Marvel characters at all and vampires, and it was somehow Marvel, and he was just like, okay.
So good. Ant.
I was just gonna say, well, then to your original point, that it doesn't need to be a Marvel game then, at all.
I guess
Exactly.
they're using that as like a selling point, maybe, because like
Yeah.
by itself, it doesn't sound like, like this. I need to go get this game. I need to get this right now. But if you throw Marvel on it, that's already like, oh shit, Marvel, and then that makes people want to go buy it. Maybe.
You know what? The only way this will work in their favor is if you can make a character, but it's out of the famous Marvel character. You got a Wolverine head, Hulk arms, Spider-Man body.
Like in the WWE 2K games where you can put on like fucking costumes and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Famous things.
Just mix and match.
Yeah. It seems like there's a lot of cool elements to this, and I know we don't know that much about it, but it seems like a really bad mishmash that is going to not be marketed well, be super confusing and unappealing if there's no like Marvel character properties within the title.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard sell. And you know what? I have no experience. I don't know about you guys. I have no experience with XCOM or even like strategy games like that.
They're
So,
not really my go-to. I don't really play XCOM-esque games like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I saw Mario Rabbids, right, is a very XCOM strategy-based game.
Yeah.
And it actually like did really well and sold really well, which was very surprising to me. So I don't know, like maybe this actually does have a place in the world, but it's not for me, just based on that.
People like it. There are people who love those games. It's just, but then it just muddies the water as to who is this marketed to? Who is this for? If it's not,
Exactly.
you not only don't have the heroes, but it's Marvel and it's an XCOM game. Like, well, then what audience is that?
Yeah, because I could picture it now. Some normal gamer goes to GameStop, picks up, oh, look, a new Marvel game, and then they put it in, and it's like a super deep, hardcore RTS, and they're like, with no Marvel characters, and like, what the fuck did I just buy?
Your favorite character, Shield, is in this.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Even Nick Fury though, he's not.
I know,
in it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just John Shield. He just is.
Johnny Shield.
It's like me whenever they do like a cameo in the new Marvel shows where they're like, hey, it's a character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know who that is.
who are you?
Right.
Yeah, I don't even think that thing's canon, right? Technically.
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No.
No idea if that tells you anything.
Right.
But yeah, just give us a Blade game, and there's a new movie coming, so that's cool. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Mahershala Ali. He's playing Blade. That was at the Disney conference
Yeah.
when they announced all like the shows and stuff.
Yeah,
I
come
did-
on, Mr. Disney. How did you not know that?
Yeah, man, weren't you there from?
Listen, dude, the mouse didn't tell me. I must have missed the meeting. All right,
That
It's like
had
a cool
turn
hat
on you.
and shit, and it said
I did-
Blade on it.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
That's slick. I love Blade.
same.
Blade is like a super underrated like Marvel property, in my opinion.
I
Uh,
use him in Ultimate Alliance all the time.
Yeah, and listen, Wesley Snipes is slick, and those movies are fucking dope. So that's all I can tell you.
Triple H was in one of them.
He was.
Yeah,
I was
he was.
I was Blade for Halloween one year. Fun fact.
See?
I had the little arm thing with the knife that would come out. That's why I got the costume, because I was like, that's really cool. It was like elementary school. I was Blade.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did it right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys for the Marvel XCOM game. I hope you guys are going to get your pre-orders in as soon as they launch.
Christ.
Nope.
The first update patch is just going to be we've added all the Marvel characters. It's a day one patch.
Day one packs. We fixed the game, guys.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's round out the show as we do every week with a little section we like to call Indie Intel. A part of our podcast where we just highlight indie games or lesser known titles and give them some spotlight and hopefully some traction to get funded or just have more people play them. This week, our Indie Intel segment is sponsored by Save Before Quitting Podcast and brought to you by them. So without further ado, I will turn it over to you guys to please give us your indie goodness.
Would you like
Yeah.
to take the lead, sir?
I decided to go with Aeon, Aeon, Aeon Drive as the game. It is I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It is a platform based, you're on a 30-second loop, and it like really looks like real retro style-ish Mega Man-y kind of look. And just like it's really hard because what drove me to this game is that it's unlike any other game of that genre I've ever seen. So it's really speedrunner based, get through these levels, sci-fi, cyberpunk-esque setting. She has like a kind of like a hook shot thing, can throw it, zap to that location, jump over things, destroy enemies, things like that. But it's really quick and it's really made to like, it looks like it's really made to like beat your best time or have a speedrunner contest, or you can play with your friends so you can get through it faster. It says it's going to come out this year on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. So pretty much
nice.
everywhere. It's by Too Awesome Studio. They're on Twitter at Too Awesome Studio, number 2 Awesome Studio.
Yeah.
I know, Chris, you said you had some talking points on it as well.
Yeah, I actually hopped on Steam because they actually have an open alpha beta to play.
Oh,
So go grab that for free and play it. It's actually really fun. I actually had to plug a controller into my PC to play it, to be honest.
Mhm.
Wasn't a huge fan of that. That's just me though. Yeah, it was really fun and fast paced with the demo and whatnot. You have like that dagger that teleports you places, and after you get through like the little initial tutorial of like how to move around and stuff, it just drops you straight into the world. It's called a Neo Barcelona, so that's a
Oh,
thing. Um, and you drop in there. You have to make it to the end of the level where there's like this little platform while also getting these little gems and stuff. But the problem is you only have 30 seconds. That's it. And there's these little like vials that you can pick up as you're going on this run, and you have to hit triangle to add 5 seconds once you fill up the tube. So like you get like I think 5 of the little vials. That gives you a singular 5 second drop. So you can hit triangle, get 5 seconds from that, and you have to keep getting them so that you can keep progressing through the level while getting through, not getting killed by the little enemies and stuff. It looks fucking gorgeous. The music is
Mm.
insanely good.
yeah.
I'm very confused too because they only have like 1,000 followers on Twitter for this game.
I stumbled onto them a while ago on Twitter, and maybe like last year, and ever since I've just been like staying up to date with it because I loved everything they showed.
Mhm.
And yeah, their follower count isn't really big, but that's kind of why I picked them because like
Yeah.
I'm in love with how this looks, and I think it needs way more attention than it's getting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually loaded up a trailer when you guys mentioned that it was one of the options. And like you said, the music was fucking awesome. The pixel art is beautiful. And the cyberpunk aesthetic, while it's like kind of getting outplayed, like everyone's kind of trying to do that cyberpunk aesthetic, I feel like this game really nails it and they do a really good job at, creating their own universe, their own world. Like the backgrounds themselves are beautiful, like the cityscapes. Uh, it's awesome. And then I was watching the actual gameplay, like throwing the shuriken knife thing and then teleporting to it, the slide that you can do. It seems like they really are like adding these features that make speed running fun, right? Teleporting, sliding, fast movement. I didn't even know about the vial thing and like extending your time, so that's really cool too.
Yeah, and like you can play it with 4-player co-op as well once the full game comes out, which is insane because not only is it co-op, like you can work together to get the vials and add more time strategically so that you can get the most out of each run and do what you need to do. But like, highly recommend testing out this demo on Steam. There's only like I think there's only 13 reviews of the game on Steam as well, which was
Wow.
insane to me. I was like, how is this a thing that nobody is talking about? Like Ant sent it to me after I was sending him a couple from Kickstarter, and I was like, hey, these look kind of neat. And I was like, how the fuck do people not know about this game?
Hey,
Yeah.
I started following a lot of like small indie studios coming up with their own games. There's a lot of talented people out there. That's why I
Yeah.
think it's dope that you guys have this segment because I mean, I guess I could have talked about this on our show, but at the same time, I'd kind of rather talk about it here because you guys already have the segment made. Plus,
Mhm.
you're highlighting games like this is so good just for the industry as a whole
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So that way people can think outside of their normal box of the games that they play and know that
Right.
there's people out here really killing it, really going like pushing things to the limit on the indie side.
Right. And that's the whole point. So I'm glad you guys found something like this that needs spotlight. It's just giving things, and we're a small channel, but you can call us indie channel, so we're supporting other indie creators.
100%.
And then you can connect with them, support them. There's so many games and like places in the world and people that we have met and interacted with because of this. And it's important. And there's a lot of games that we've backed and now played or own or whatever it is that we wouldn't have if we don't do something like this and do our research and find studios like
Nice.
that. So
For sure.
I think this actually started because I would see comments on like PlayStation social media. They would be highlighting an indie game and people would just be like, ew, this art style is like ugly. Like the graphics are awful. Why would you put this on the PlayStation 4 at the time? PlayStation 4, when it can handle such better graphics, why would you put a game with like NES style graphics? It's these people that don't understand that like pixel art is like an art style. It's not like this is all we can do graphically. We don't have any other technology. It's not
Right.
that.
Choice.
Exactly. It's a stylistic choice. And I think that I was like fed up with seeing all the hate that like these awesome indie games were getting simply because they didn't look like these AAA games. And sometimes it's for the better because it's not super hyper realistic doesn't mean it's not a great game, you know.
Just because it looks like that, like you couldn't put this game on the NES. The fucking cartridge would explode. Like it's no way.
Exactly.
Like you said, it's a choice. It's a style. It's not a limit. It's no limitation to it. It's just they put everything they had into this style.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So anything else about Aeon Drive, say before quitting, boys?
Highly recommend playing it. I feel bad for Ant that he can't play it because he's got a Mac, so he can't get Steam.
Play it. Well, it's coming out this year. I'm just gonna get it on whatever.
On your Steam Deck.
Oh yeah. See, that's why I
You
need a
got those
Steam
coming.
Deck. I can't wait to get a
Yeah.
Steam Deck so I can play PC with everybody else.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
All right. Very cool. Yeah. Aeon Drive. Please check it out and support it, everybody. We'll put some links in the description for you.
Cool.
So, gentlemen, that's it. That's our podcast. You guys survived an entire episode of Hapticast.
And we have to go
Yes.
record one.
Yeah, and you have to go record your own, which I know, and we can talk about it more later and definitely off camera, but we will eventually at some point, hopefully very soon, be on your guys' podcast as well, and keep talking and have more conversations. I hope to do this again with you guys in the future. It's been a long time coming. It's been a pleasure having you guys on.
So
This
Thank
was all
you for
just a
having.
trick to get inside of Haptic Intel so I can get the files and
We're gonna steal HBot. You hear that?
The source code.
yeah.
No, but
That's
yeah,
right.
we appreciate it, guys. It's a great time. I watch your videos like every fucking week while I'm in my goddamn cubicle. Just toss it on to the side, straight up.
Mhm.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you guys doing great work.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Of course.
Yeah. We appreciate it. So, real quickly, why don't you guys just plug everything that you want to? Where can people find you, check you out, all that good stuff?
All right, so you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Save the letter B, the number 4 quitting. Titty.
TITTY.
Yes. You can also email us at savebeforequitting, fully spelled out, at gmail.com. We also have merch now, which is kind of neat. We stumbled upon that by accident.
Mhm.
So you can check that out on our website, savebeforequitting, fully spelled out.com, where you see our Twitch and all that stuff. And you can look at our nerdy gamer people stuff. We have socks.
There you go.
So that's a thing.
That should be our tagline now. Save for
We have socks. But yeah, you can check out all that stuff. We have a community Discord that you can find in the link in our social media bios. You can join up and talk to the other people that are, just shooting the shit and talking games. We talk in there for our news stories. You can submit your questions there. We'll answer it every single week. We come out on Thursdays. So yeah,
yes, sir.
everywhere.
Very cool. So yeah,
Very good.
please check them out, everybody. Hopefully this is one of many more collaborations to come in the future. Before we end it, Brett, you have anything else you want to say?
I want to say thank you guys for coming. I had a great time, and like Josh said, I do want to do this again. It was good having, usually it's just Josh and I shooting the shit, so it's good to have outside opinions and banter with you guys too. So thank you so much for coming and being on here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Happy
Thanks
to
for
be-
having us. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Ant, Christian?
Save before quitting.
Go ahead. Instead of
He said
do
everything.
do your outro. Go ahead. You guys wrap it up.
Ooh.
Go ahead. Do your outro. You got
I
it.
like that.
Our outro.
We just did.
Did you-
Follow us on the titty.
Yeah.
Make sure to always
Save.
save
Save
before
before quitting.
quitting. There you go. It's great over Zoom. It's terrible.
Just
We'll sync it up.
times things like that.
Yeah.
Save.
Thank you for watching Hapticast. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss an upload.
Be sure to check out Save Before Quitting.